Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy, and today we're going to be doing the, I almost said EDH Tag Part 5, lol, the fun EDH Commanders Part 5. These are, like, really popular videos. A lot of people seem to really like them, and basically just talk about a couple of different commanders. Some of these are a little more popular than the others. Some of these are just cards that, like, honestly, you may have not seen in a really long time or ever, which is kind of cool. And basically it's just to kind of, like, raise awareness for a couple of ones or other ones that I think you could do, like, really sweet commander things. And actually, funny, I made this list a while back, and as I was going through it, I was like, wow, I kind of want to build some of these now. So we'll get to that, those creatures when we get to them. So the first card I want to talk about is Captain Sisay. I think Captain Sisay is an excellent card. Even if you don't decide to do her as a commander, she's so good in green-white decks. Oh my god. I have her in ladies, and she's just such a boss. Like, just fetching out, like, all these legendary cards, and you just put them in your hand. It's, like, so good. And also, like, she's pretty cheap, I would say, in terms of, like, casting costs. Like, she's only 4 mana for a 2/2. You're not really swinging with her. You're not worried about that, but there's so many cool things that you could do with this. You can totally build Captain Sisay and be super, super competitive, or honestly, I think you can build this and just have, like, a lot of fun legendaries in there. Overall, I think she's a super solid commander, and I like her a lot. The next commander is one that I forgot about, which is Gnarset. And actually, as I was doing this, I was like, oh my god, do I kind of want to build Gnarset? She's so good, y'all. She also got hexproof, like, oh my god. She's so good. So, she's like 6 mana. I also feel like I don't have anything in, like, these colors. I don't do America. Like, not that I don't like them, but it's just, like, it's not a color that I've played with a lot. She's 3/2, she's got first strike hexproof. When she attacks, so it's when you attack, it's not even when you do combat damage. You exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you can cast non-creature spells exiled with Gnarset this turn without paying their mana cost. Now, I feel like Gnarset is a card that you really, really, really have to build around, because you don't want to be running into things like you're exiling cards that you otherwise couldn't really cast, like counter spells, for example. It's really awful with Gnarset. So I feel like there's just things that you kind of have to be really, really careful of running, and then also those cards are exiled, and they're kind of exiled forever. There are cards that you can get back exile. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the new Karn you can do that with, which would actually be really a good inclusion in this deck. It's just like, I feel like she's kind of a challenging card to build around, but I've seen Gnarset go off, and you can do a lot of really jank, like, storm things with her, and she just gives you a really, really solid, like, you're seeing 4 cards, and you can potentially cast all of them without paying their mana cost. So, card to build around, I would say. I would definitely look at other people's lists for inspiration, but super, super fun commander. Another really fun commander that I feel like is a super underrated card is Adriana, Captain of the Guard. This was only printed once in Conspiracy, and it just seems to be a card that not a lot of people know about. And I actually ran this card in Ladies for a while until I took it out, because there's just so many other cards that I wanted to run, but Adriana's really sweet. So she's got melee, which is just, again, not like a massively, I feel like, known mechanic, but it's when this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you attacked with the creature this turn, and then other creatures have melee, so it's just really, really good. Like, she doesn't, I feel like, look as good as she is, and so, like, you can play her, and I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, like, that's not that much of a problem, and then you're playing, and you've got, like, 3 opponents, and you each attack them, and they each get +3/+3, and then Adriana becomes a 7/7, and it's like, oh, well, that's really good. I feel like this is a really card that, like, depends on your play group. Like, if you're only playing, like, 2 with 2 people, it's, like, not as good, but if you play EDH with multiple people consistently, I think Adriana is a really solid commander, and I think a really solid pick for, like, this color combo, because I feel like a lot of people, at least I do this, like, when I think of, like, building a commander deck, I think of, like, the colors. I think of what colors I haven't done and what colors I want to do, so. Cool, that's Adriana. Another, not well-known one, she was only printed once, I think. Yeah, this looks like only once, is Saskia, the Unyielding. Y'all, she's really, really good. So she's every color but blue, she's a 3/4, she's got Vigilance and Haste. Yo, that's really good. And then she TBs you choose a player, and then whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, it deals double damage. So it's, like, really good. So it's kind of like, what I like about Saskia a lot is that, like, if you're playing and you kill someone or someone else kills one of your opponents and then Saskia dies, you can always recast her and then choose a new player. Like, you can be so, like, she's very, very aggressive. Like, this is not a card that, like, you don't play Saskia to just be like, oh, I'm just casually gonna target you. No, like, you're in, like, total war at that point. Like, you're going completely for trying to kill your opponent. It's really good. And what I really like about it is you could just honestly go all in with Saskia and just keep attacking one person, or you can attack another person and then that damage gets added on. Not, like, redirected, because it still goes to that person A, but then person B gets that damage as well, which is so good. Oh my god. This is such a good creature. And she's also, like, a really nice body too. She's a 3/4, which is good. Cool. Okay, I forgot about this creature until I was redoing this list and looking at things, but Jellyra, y'all, I remember when, like, Jellyra came out, and I was like, oh my god, this card is so cool. And she actually she was reprinted in Masters 25 apparently, and she's now an uncommon. But okay, you can do a lot of really, really fun things with Jellyra. So it's sack another creature. You reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature, and you put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library. So you can basically 3 mana, you sack whatever creature. You're playing blue, so you can play, like, Talran with this and things like that, where you can, like, have a lot of instants and sorcery, or, like, you get tokens somehow or whatever. You sack whatever creatures and you just get a non-legendary for 3 mana. Like, this is so good. Like, why doesn't anyone play Jellyra? I think she's really sweet. And another fun thing you can do with this is it is non-legendary, so it's something to really keep in mind when you're building her, but some of the, oh my god, our friend Eddie had this build, and I don't remember what Eldrazi he ran with it, but he ran one of the Eldrazi's, and then he had, like, the token gen thing, and it was really, really sweet. I thought it was really good. One of the Eldrazi that's, like, not legendary. I can't think of what it is right now, but, and you put it on the battlefield, like, that's so good. Oh, Jellyra, she's so fun. Okay, then we have Drana Calistria Bloodsheaf. Okay, I was looking at her, and Drana was one of the cards that I was like, oh my god, I kind of want to, like, do a build on her, because she's so fun. So she's, like, 5 mana 4/4 flyer, like, that's great. Target creature gets -0/-X until end of turn, and then Drana gets +X/+O until end of turn. Guys, you could just, like, literally kill people with this card. What I really like about this card, too, is it, like, takes away someone's defense on a creature, someone's toughness on a creature, and then she just gets bigger, and she's got flying, so she's got evasion, which is really good. If your opponents don't have creatures for some reason, you can just, like, do your stuff as well, but it doesn't kill your stuff. Like, Drana's just so solid. Like, I think she's such a cool, fun black commander, and I was like, oh man. And she's a vampire, so you could do, like, vampire synergies with this, or you could just do, like, good value black creatures. Like, oh man, I just think she's a super, super fun commander, and I don't really see a lot of people run her. She's not very expensive, too, from what I'm remembering. Okay, Olivia Voldaren. I remember, like, falling in love with Olivia, like, the first time I saw her, and I was like, she is so good. Another vampire lady. So she deals 1 damage to another target creature. They become a vampire, and you're like, okay. But then Olivia gets bigger. What I really like about this first ability is that you don't have to tap her. So you can, like, do this and attack, or keep her on the defense, and you could do this multiple times for 2 mana. What's really good about this is you can do 1 damage to a creature, so you can potentially kill a lot of creatures. Or you can just ping something for the second ability, which is gain control of target vampire for as long as you control Olivia. Whoa, this is so cool. As I was reading this, I was like, oh my god, now I kind of want to build Olivia. Like, she's so, after, like, re-looking at her, like, this is such a good card. Like, not only do you get to ping things, but she gets bigger, and then you can gain control if you control... You can gain control of target vampire, and it does an untap ability. So if you just have a ton of mana, this card is just so good. Oh my god, I feel like I need to build her now. Okay. Super, super underrated commander. I really haven't seen, like, anyone with this card, which is Viola the Nightclad. Viola's really, really strong. So she's got Intimidate, which, again, lesser known mechanic, I feel like. So they have to share a color. So really, if you're playing a game where people have blue, where they don't have blue or black creatures, you just have so many free attacks towards that person, which is so good because all creatures you have Intimidate. And then when her or another creature leaves the battlefield, they lose a life. This card is so good. Viola is such a strong commander. The art is stunning. Like, the art is so freaking pretty. And just, like, all around, this is such a solid card. It does so many different things. I think you can really, really hurt people a lot with these mechanics, and I love the fact that it's when her or another creature you control leaves the battlefield. So, like, any creature that you control leaves the battlefield, so not even just dies, they just lose life, which is really good. So if you board wipe, or someone else board wipes, you can do a lot of damage. I think Viola's really strong. Okay, then we have More Vig. Now, I actually had More Vig. A lot of these cards I've had in decks, actually, and then, like, I took them out. But, I mean, I'm specifically talking about them for Commanders. But, I had this in Tassiger, like, for a very, very short period of time. And I was like, not a huge fan. But I think as a Commander, More Vig is, like, really solid. So, basically, you cast a green creature, you can put it on top of your library. But if you cast a blue creature, you can reveal it, and then if it's a creature, you can put it into your hand. So it's really good if you have a green and a blue creature because it just goes to your hand. There's a lot of really, really solid. I feel like green-blue is probably, like, the best EDH color combination. And to be honest, I think the next... I built Merfolk that was that color combination. I think my next... If I do decide to do another green-blue, it's going to be the new Jellyfish. But I think More Vig is a really solid pick in this color combination. I think you can do a lot with this. And honestly, like, this, to me, More Vig is a really competitive card. So I feel like if you're playing in a group that isn't as competitive... I think this card is just a little bit too mean, I would say. You can do a lot of, like, infinite combos with this, and you can do a lot of, like, really, really aggressive tactics with this. So I think you kind of have to, like, or if you have, like, maybe various playgroups, I wouldn't play this in a really not as competitive because this, I feel like it can get very, very out of hand very quickly. But I think More Vig is a really, really solid commander and very competitive. And the last creature that we're going to be talking about is Karn, Silver Golem. Paul actually has this as his commander for his colorless deck, and I feel like Karn gets really pushed aside a lot for other colorless commanders because a lot of, like, the Eldrazi are colorless, like Kozilek and stuff. And I think Karn is kind of that good card, but it can still be really competitive. So I feel like it's for more of, like, a middle of the range play group, I would say. I think if you're really trying to build, like, a really, really competitive deck, you want to do colorless, I would say I would probably look at the Eldrazi before looking at Karn. But I think in the right play group, I think Karn can do a really solid job. And I think it's better than a lot of people realize. So whenever it blocks or becomes blocked, it gets -4, +4. So it becomes a 0/8. So it can basically block anything on the ground, which is really solid. For 1 mana, it's not a tap ability. You can make target non-creature artifact an artifact, and its power and toughness are equal to its casting cost until end of turn. You can blow a lot of people out with this ability, and they can kind of forget that you have it on board. So what you can do is you can, like, have all of your artifacts, all of your mana dorks that you're kind of done with, like, you don't really need them, you're at late stages of the game. You can make your whatever stuff, like your 4 mana 4/4s, 4 mana a 4/4 for 1 mana, and you don't have to tap it, so you can do it as many times as you have mana, and you just can swing with the team. So it's really, really good if you, like, don't have any creatures and you have mana rocks that you don't really do anything with because, you know, you're running colorless, so you're probably running a ton of mana rocks. So I think Karn is really solid for that reason, and I think can do really a great job in the right play group. So, guys, that is it for Fun EDH Commanders Part 5. If you want to check out the other parts, you're more than welcome to. There's, like, a ton of commanders that I talk about, but I definitely would look forward to doing more of these because there's, like, so much stuff, and this list that I made is kind of old, so there's a lot of new stuff that I can definitely do once I do another video. So, yeah, that's all I got for this video. I will see you guys in my next. Bye.